Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Stitch is finally back awake from his slumber.
Data.
We're going back to our investigation. Alright, I think I looked over everything in here already. So let's go back to where Taco was killed. Where was it again? Don't quite remember. Was it this side?
Maybe.
There's some kind of tire mark going through the pool blood in the middle of the room. That reminds me about the dolly in the repository. There was blood on its tire. Could that blood have come from? No, really? I mean, the Taka's body is moved from the equipment room to the repository using the dolly. Those rooms are on the 3rd floor, so that could have definitely been possible. And even if the dolly was used to move Taka's body, what about Hifumi? Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office on the 1st floor. Even with the dolly, there's no way to get it up to the 3rd floor. That's still a total mystery. Alright. Let's do the camera one more time. Sleeping right here on the pillow through the body.
What?
First time is such an ultimately rare event. Right. Let's go back down to... When we took a look at the rec room last night, we didn't see anything else different, right?
No, I saw.
Let's see.
Hifumi was moved, right? In a dispute, you're supposed to be in the nurse's office, right?
Yes,
Right,
indeed.
She's not feeling well, so I stayed behind to look after her. She seemed to be getting worse, so I took her to the bathroom. When he got back, the body was gone. She could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. Until I was able to get in and move the Hifumi's body in that short amount of time.
Indeed.
It would seem so. Carry-offs one as big of his Hifumi in only a couple minutes, so I can't think of it as anything less than impossible. Okay, wait. So okay. Justice Hammer 1 was the one in the rec room, right? So where was Justice Hammer 2? I don't remember.
2nd floor?
Blood packs?
Oh.
There's blood packs in there, huh? Oh, really? Make somebody wonder, huh?
Hmm.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to look at. You won't let me leave. Oh, trash can. Glasses cleaning cloth with blood on it, huh? It's the same character that was on Hifumi's camera.
Oh. Huh?
It's all bloody. Whoever this belonged to must have used it to wipe up some blood. But who would need to do something like that? I haven't the slightest idea. Me either. But I think it might be important. You don't remember... Bro, do you have the memory of a goldfish? Okay. I'm trying to think. What else would I need to investigate? Wait, did I past it?
Hmm?
Run past it. Maybe I need to go back in? I don't know. She really attacked with this Justice Hammer one? I don't know. Was she? What the heck is with this thing? I'm trying to remember. There has to be something I'm missing. What am I missing though? What is the question? Oh, Justice Hammer 2 was in the library. That's right.
Hmm.
Huh? Or it was. Wasn't it?
We found it. There was one in the back room of the respiratory.
What am I looking for exactly? Because I feel like this is where we found Hifumi, but the hammer's gone.
Hmm.
I'm confused. Still haven't seen Kyoko. Her and Hero are both missing. I guess I'll just check everything, I guess. Because I'm lost on what I'm supposed to be doing right now. What is in here?
Hmm.
Okay, nobody's in here. Okay, so I can't leave.
It was mainly the third floor and
But I've
medbay.
already checked everything on the third floor.
Hmm.
Maybe I need to talk to someone again? We already talked to Celeste. We already talked to Sakura. Maybe we gotta talk to Kogami? Where was Kogami? Is he in the repository or no?
Hmm. Um.
Already got that clue.
So then...
I don't think so. Making sure I clicked everything. Okay, I've already clicked everything in there I can. Go back to the physics lab again. Yes, dummy, that's the part the taco was moving.
What?
I don't know what I'm missing. Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you! What do you mean you've been looking for me? I wanted to thank you for what you did. Not you meant to, but you ended up making this little game of ours very interesting indeed. You should go to Hero's Room. Oh, and let me give you this. This is no Hero's Room to get us all to meet up, right? Remember well. Well, the penmanship is pretty remarkable, so left an impression.
It's all clear now.
Anyway, this makes it clear, right? This is a trap. Things got even more exciting. What are you talking about? I've already repaid my debt. I don't owe you any more explanation.
Goodbye.
You could have given me that 5 minutes ago? After I'd already clicked everything? Whatever. Where is his room? Door's unlocked? Guess I can go inside. I'd have to go look. Might be a great idea, but I'm going to take the plunge. Wow. I guess you can't really complain about not getting dispersion in the search is earned, right? Blueprints for something. These blueprints. Something about them bothers me. What else am I supposed to be looking at? Is that it? Guess so. Oh, but okay. Big news, yes. Young Kyoko? Is she okay? Where is she? Wait, I wasn't done. There's more big news.
Just a second.
Robo Justice showed up too.
Hmm.
It's Hero wearing the costume.
Okay.
Anyway, as soon as you can, head to the pool on the 2nd floor. Okay.
A wild goose chase today.
Alright. Okay,
I mean,
and had the worst day.
huh? Oh,
Yeah,
hey, Makoto.
Who else would I be? That's a good question.
Huh?
Why do I look like this? Did someone come along and remodel me while I was sleeping? Was it the Illuminati? Jesus Christ. Careful what you got.
Right.
I found Hero. Yeah, I can hear. He was jamming into the pool room locker? If he was jammed in the pool room locker in that big thing, there's no way he could have gotten out. He's fast asleep, so I kicked him and woke him up.
Don't be mean.
I still can't believe you kicked me. I'm a little more gentle at it, like, I don't know, caress my face or something.
What?
That's creepy. Anyway, Yuko, where have you been all this time? You just disappeared all of a sudden without a trace.
Well,
There was something I had to check up on. What do you mean? Never mind. I can't never mind.
it's nothing.
Never mind.
Hey,
More importantly, she says that, but does she have any idea? Do you know people think she might be spying for the mastermind?
and?
First of all, Hiro, you need to explain to us why you're dressed like that.
I mean,
I have no idea. 1 second I was asleep, don't even know how that happened. Then I woke up and then I was here.
hmm.
I don't care. Do something about that costume. It pains me just to look at you.
Huh?
Well,
Let me out of here!
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself?
You got it all wrong!
I didn't make this stupid freaking thing.
It would seem...
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. Which also means... what? Stitch.
Yes.
If he can't get it off by himself, what does that mean?
Someone put it on him
Because...
because he was already knocked out in the first place.
if he can't put it if he can't get it off, he can't put it on.
Hmm.
You're overcomplicating it.
Oh well.
Took everyone's help, but slowly we were able to get here out of the suit. It took a few minutes, but eventually we got all the pieces off. Isn't it kind of weird how perfectly the suit fits Hero?
So then...
More to the point, nobody but Hero would be able to wear that costume.
um...
Hold on.
honestly,
Don't bother trying to act innocent. The blueprints were near him as well.
is that
In other
okay?
words, it is obvious to everyone that you made this costume. I'm sure I saw the blueprints myself. Yeah, me too.
Could it
Wouldn't it be
be...
obvious? The one who put the costume on and went around attacking everyone?
That's
This
terrible!
Hero? Don't we tie him up and gag him?
Just the worst.
Good idea. We wouldn't want him killing anyone else.
What?
Tie me up? Hold on, guys. I think this is going a little far.
That's right.
He may be a suspect, but he deserves fair treatment. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
attacking blueprints? I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
What the heck?
You can't talk your way out of this. It's been decided. You killed them. What? Killed who? I have no idea what you're talking about. There must be a fake hero running around.
What are you
No,
saying?
I can wear this costume. So who else could possibly be the costume attacker?
What the heck?
How do you know I'm the only one? Maybe you should try it on yourself before you can pick me.
Okay.
Fine, if you're gonna be a jerk about it, I will. Without missing a beat, Hina started putting on the Rebel Justice costume.
Huh. See? Look. I mean, come on. I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
And you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's not a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's not like I made it.
Well, either way. Now we know. I mean, it seems pretty clear that...
Or somebody of Hero's stature.
Ah.
There's another guy then. Okay. I'm going.
Just a second.
You're absolutely right. It seems this costume's made to fit Hero's body exactly.
But...
Let's have one exchange.
Honestly.
Insist on this line of defense and show us some evidence.
what the heck?
If there's another suit, yes, then you must find it and show it to us.
Just the worst.
Here. Here's the only one without an alibi during this entire thing anyway.
That's terrible.
That's how we know it was him.
What?
Is that really true? I have no idea what's even happening. Can someone, like, tell me?
Hmm.
Here's the thing, though. Hiro is a pretty tall guy who's pretty skinny. Makoto is not tall or skinny. Well, I mean, he is skinny, but he's not tall. The closest representation in this room would be Togami, and you know Togami's not gonna put it on. You falling asleep again?
The heck?
No.
What's gonna happen?
I was sat at my computer chair.
What?
People.
Just the worst.
Freaking out, you did it.
Please. Huh?
Wait, hold on. Those two were the ones that killed.
How about
That's
that?
it. I know who did it.
So
You
then,
may as well tell us then.
How
could have from you were fighting over alter ego, right?
I'm at least
Your alter
30%
ego
right.
Hero must have done it. Oh,
correct.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Please.
What the heck?
Don't try to trick us. Just admit you did it, okay? You
Um.
got it all wrong.
Oh,
Oh no, that note. I saw someone took a
um.
weird note under my door. And here's what it said. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. The last thing I remember is going to the rec room, and then for some reason I fell asleep.
Hey.
The killer probably drugged me or something.
Just the worst.
Not a chance.
So.
Oh, hold on. He could be onto something. The nurse's office does have chemicals that could do that.
Huh?
Really? Told you, someone's trying to set me up. Secret passage, a chance to escape. Someone wrote all that to trick me.
Ah.
Not that's true. You must be one dumb fish to fight every piece of bait that floats in front of you. You're being tracked here so long, even you know it's a lie. You gotta check, right? You read on what it's there to get out of here. They deceived me.
Ah.
I still don't buy it.
Don't be
You
mean.
should buy it.
Just a
And
second.
then show us that note. A pleasure. I have it right here in my pocket.
No
It's like-
way.
Ah.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
You gotta believe me, I wouldn't hurt a fly. As I said before, if you want us to believe you, you must produce evidence. Can you show us the note? I have no particular issue with what you claim, but if you want us to believe you, give us a reason. Are you serious? Now let's shall we resume our investigation? There's no time to waste before the class trial begins. Why do we need to keep investigating? We already know who did it. Owie! Have we not learned about throwing accusations around?
What the heck?
I need to kill and tell us here. Good.
Just
Yep.
the
Was it really to get
worst.
the money Monokuma offered us? Yeah, let me see it. You must be totally broke, and that's why.
Please.
What are you saying?
Someone help me.
You think we haven't found anything? You have time to yell and carry on. You have time to search for your evidence, right?
What?
Right. I need to look for a second suit in that note. Pete, don't fail me now. I think I better get back to guard duty. I was gonna ask Toko or Sensei to switch with me. If she and Sakura got in a fight, we'd have a cash. I can't pronounce that word.
Makoto,
Do you have a second? I want you to help me with the investigation.
it would
It
seem.
looks like I got a late start on this one, so I need to make up some ground. I don't mind helping, but can you promise me something? Later, when we have time, will you tell me why you disappeared?
Why is that?
No.
Anyway,
Anyway, I need your help. You don't mind, do you? Okay.
shall we go?
Thanks. Now then, shall we?
Hey,
Makoto, first I'd like to examine the corpses.
correct.
Their bodies don't lie, you know. They tell the truth far more easily than the living.
Hey,
Wouldn't you agree?
anyway.
Anyway, we have to hurry before the class trial begins again. Yeah, you're right. I mean, where the bodies are. They're in the repository, then I guess we should head that way for now. Okay. You know, we're getting a really long time to investigate this one. I guess that's because it's double. Okay, I'm talking for a moment. Only for a moment.
So
Then
then,
let's get started.
I knew it.
She was so smooth. She was so calm. Yeah, comfortable shows actually made me feel a little more comfortable.
I see.
But I found something.
Hey,
You remember the wristwatch Taka always wore on his left hand? You did?
whew.
Are you so oblivious to people around you? Do you dislike other people that much? No, that's not it. Anyway, you said he had a watch.
So
Take a
then,
look. It's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving, right? It's most likely broke when he had his encounter with his assailant. If you notice, the hands are frozen just past 6 o'clock. That would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6.
that's right.
But last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know, bedtime. So it means he was up early.
In other words,
However,
That's not all. Took a look at his left hand. He appears to be gripping something. What?
Makoto,
Can you try and pry it out? Me?
because
Rigor mortis has already said androids are better suited to this kind of manual labor, right? Okay. What did he have? He had a piece of paper.
hey,
That's all he had? That's it.
is that
Sorry
right?
about that.
So then,
Let's check if you move body now. Perhaps he's left us a few clues of his own. Just a plain piece of paper. Wait, do I have to talk to her again? Because this seems like the same stuff.
indeed,
More than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. A wad of paper?
that's right.
Kumi had it hidden on him. Hidden?
Indeed.
He'd stuffed it in his pants. Oh, so I can only assume he did it on purpose. Wait,
Why is that?
it's just his pants, not like his socks or something. Kyoko, that is so not the... Alright.
Hey,
Anyway, let's take a look at the paper. Go ahead, Makoto. Open it up. Think house. Better to be important. Or honestly. Hey, look! It's the note that was left for Hiro.
Hmm.
so... However,
Well, it's not exactly the same, is it? Rec room at 1 a.m. The time is different. You're supposed to know it said at 1 a.m. And this one says the equipment room at 6 a.m.
is that right?
What
So...
if it had been torn off, right? I think there's likely some meaning there. Yeah, Taka had the piece.
Hey,
Why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly?
so then,
What if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it was something more important? Not something important like that become a mere scrap of paper. That's what you need to answer.
hey,
We're at it. I should tell you one other thing. The two victims this time definitely had their e-handbooks on them. The handbooks have nothing to do with how the murders were carried out. Not that there was any reason to think they were connected to the killings in the first place.
is that right?
I didn't have to think about them at all. I wouldn't have gone out of my way to mention it. All I said is that they weren't used to help carry out the murders. There may come a point, however, when a handbook may play a role. Keep it in mind. Don't understand, but we'll figure it out.
Bing bong.
It's fast trial time.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's like the bright
It's time
burst
for
of
the
fireworks, and so everyone, please make your way to.
The red pumpkin.
It would seem...
Sorry, I'm trying to do something. Fortunate, but this is where investigation comes to an end. That's it. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself and come to the proper conclusion.
Shall we go?
It's time for the Monokuma time.
Monokuma appears!
Wow!
Wrong!
Nope, not multiplication. It's just to look away because it's moving so fast it looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell me which one is the real Monokuma?
I don't know. I want to punch both, so. Yeah, I'm out of hair.
Whew.
Boy, tough crowd.
Stop
Hey,
talking.
Okay.
Hey! Fine. I'll see you guys later.
Let's go. Please!
What the heck?
Don't rip Benson Fred. You can't run away anymore here. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
What the heck?
Hmm...
Unfortunate. Let's see, we have our coffee.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
Just because Hero didn't find it doesn't mean I didn't. Like I said, if you need some help with this one, I will help you out because it is a little confusing. The double murders always are. There's one in every game. I don't remember who the third one is, but I know who the second one is. Or the one or two is. Is it just me, or is this elevator a lot more empty?
I see you all gathered together like this. I realized just how I felt when you were there. Your school
Just the
life.
worst.
What?
Wait, what? Do you really hate me so much because I'm so cute?
Come on.
Focusing around and begin.
Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. But never says, I'll never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break.
Yahoo!
Never hold you on like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your science. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of if you can figure it, then I'll pun. Now then.
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hero. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
You're one to talk.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hero, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing...
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't...
Find out, Dylan.
It's time to shoot the gun.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, right! Hold on. Before
Are we sure Hero?
Okay, hold on. Hold up.
What did I miss?
Okay, hold on. If you look at the note on the blueprints, it's kind of lax, right? But look at Yasuhiro's writing. Those two are nothing alike.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think I've tried to change my handwriting anyway.
He's right on that.
So, Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Thank you for backing me up, Totem.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual
Someone running
hidden
around
within
in
the
that
suit.
Hmm?
I feel like someone was actually running around in that suit.
Go ahead, Makoto.
And
Tell them who it was.
Proceed back to that.
So, who was in the...
Taka? You know, hero of the Illuminati.
I got it!
It has to be
Other
him.
than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
Ogami is actually a massive help. Him and Kyoko both.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
And we already know what that is, don't we?
The wheels.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Yes.
I got it! I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right? So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
By the way, who do you think the culprit is? The mastermind.
Oh. I have a few things on Tagami.
On
Tagami, but also Buff Lady.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Yes.
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment
Yes.
room when we found
Have
Taka's
video
body?
evidence.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along? And you simply didn't realize it?
Where's the proof that it was in the equipment room? There was something specific about the dolly.
The blood on the wheels.
She's raised an objection.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Wow, rude.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Are you calling me stupid? Alright. Yeah, just to make sure I know what I'm doing. Reloading. We're gonna add one more ingredient. On the bottom screen underneath the tempo marker, you see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but for now, just locking on and pressing the mouse button won't be enough to handle them. It'll cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing tab. Oh, so now's when I start to reload.
Oh, okay,
Tab key and time with the marker. Basically, just remember the tab key now has a button. Oh, bullet time battle.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
Reload.
You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I did it. First time this time.
First try.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Do you know why? It was something that Hina said when she tried the suit on.
You can't bend over.
Mm-hmm. And
Because of, yeah.
and what about what is it about how the body was transported that would make that impossible, per se?
It's on a dolly. You'd have to bend over to move the dolly.
Mm-hmm.
But also could have been done by his foot if he kicked it about.
Yeah, but he couldn't have moved straight with the lines.
Mm.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Yes.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Yep.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, you don't have to bend over.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
You can't see your feet.
When you can't even see your feet, You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Why couldn't he take off the suit?
It was too small.
Hmm?
It was too small?
No. He couldn't take off the suit because of...
Once it's you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it!
Can't take
I
it
don't
off by
think
yourself
taking
because
off
of the
suit
latches.
was an option. If you remember,
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. I don't think you can get it off on your own.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
You know, Celeste, that picture you have proves nothing. It just has Hifumi in a headlock. That's it.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
He decided to call him that just then.
So long as those facts exist, the individual inside the suit and the cult.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Thank you, Kyoko.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
No.
All right then. Let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor. and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
And then... At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
You know...
Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
There's something kind of suspicious about all this, right? Celeste is telling us all this information. Celeste told us she found Hifumi. Celeste told us she saw the shadows. Celeste told us she saw the costume man run away. Celeste told us she found the bodies. Isn't that a little weird?
Celeste is suspicious.
I think that about covers it.
Innocent till proven guilty.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally
Yeah, you're
complicated.
so ready to witch trial Togami.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
I'm shooting them on a camera file.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Do we?
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Do we really know what times they were killed? And why is that?
So,
Because
regarding
of that
Taka's death, I wonder if
Because
he
the
died
Monofuma
before
file did not
Hifumi,
say.
or perhaps it was after?
Remember,
we
they
already
usually
know
say.
what order they were killed in.
They did not.
You're saying?
Shoot!
Well, obviously, but
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder
must
if
have
he
to absorb
died
something.
before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what
That's not
order
what I
they
meant
were
to do.
killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the
Mother.
Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See?
So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong.
I don't know how that works, but we're gonna take it.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
That's true.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
What relates to what? What relates to what? Time he died.
The rain thing? No, the wristwatch.
Now I understand.
He's playing all the games.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night... So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyo. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the...
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis since all of us were there together.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the... Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment. And then, there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the... At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
What do you think happened?
How could the body have been moved?
And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short
I've got a
amount of
question
time?
for you. What if they did? What if they didn't carry it? You remember what we found in the trash?
The glasses cleaner.
And do you remember the difference in Hifumi's glasses were when we first found him versus when we found him the second time?
First it had blood on, then it didn't.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think happened?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way!
Well,
Hifumi ran out.
what if I told you
was
there was a
scared and started
way to
running.
make the impossible possible?
And one more time. What'd you say?
Hifumi cleaned his glasses and
Mhm.
ran.
What?
He managed to
How?
escape up these stairs and then die.
So that means
Hifumi's the murdered.
yes and
No,
no.
Hifumi.
It's okay. It's complicated. Technically, means what I was looking. The answer I was looking for was he wasn't dead. But
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another...
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
why not? We're probably not going to use this one.
Are you saying that when we first found
Yeah, I don't
Hifumi
think
in the
we did.
nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Missed it.
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh, shit. I know what I'm... Yes, it was somebody else's discovery, but I think I got the wrong thing.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you kidding me?
Are you saying that when we first
Found Hifumi.
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No,
It is. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the
body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that
is why the
Are we really so sure about? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What is it?
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Oh, I think I know what I need to do now.
Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
This part I need to shoot
And
with what
that
Kyoko
is
says
why
at the
the
end.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance?
No, Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's
There we
wrong.
go.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
We already knew that.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
When was it?
Just after... No, when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
What could that possibly be, Stitch?
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then. Let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Now that one's probably gonna get used.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
That's true.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Shit, not the right one. Shit.
Shoot!
I have like a sliver of health left.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found him, and then his body
And the next time, it was in...
But when you compare his body before...
Other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Well, there you go.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses' owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
Remember what we looked at? Bit.
I went somewhere.
Do you remember what we looked at? How could we explain all the blood on the floor?
The blood packets.
In?
The bin.
The fridge in the nurse's
the
office
fridge.
contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
What did he take off his body?
The paper. The note thing.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Ah! That's the note I was telling you about! The one that told me where to go! Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Yes, technically.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka. Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
What proves the note belonged to Taka?
The handwriting?
Here, I'll give you a
Huffy
hint.
had the note, right?
What did Taka have on his person?
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
The wristwatch.
No,
But
it's nothing
remember
we
what
have.
the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
God damn it.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong.
You're actually right. You had that right in my spot.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they'd found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
What's the proof he took it?
The ripped piece of paper in Taka's hand.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from, I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note...
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Pretty good.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
He's got a point.
Yeah.
We didn't find one.
Because, I mean, according to the Monokuma file,
yes, we did.
the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same.
Do you
with
remember?
them having similar fractures and all.
I had to show it to you in the video.
Oh.
It was on the wall in the repository.
The hammer.
That had been
Washed, cleaned.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right,
That's
though.
what she said.
I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
Justice Hammer 2 was missing.
Personally, I haven't.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi? What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammer.
No, that's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
You then pin the blame on the person.
I don't think it's that again.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Shit, I meant to grab hers.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us,
Even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is how the...
But that only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two murders.
based on the rules
That have been, even if more than one person,
only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong.
Also, Lex is here now. They don't talk, but they're here.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there's only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
Wait,
You think
till
so?
you hear about who it
I
is.
can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Serial killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debate, stuff to know, case is unfolded. Well, you don't consider all that. There's only one person who seems fit. Who do you think it is? Cast your votes now. Lex, if you want to vote, you can. You can have a say. There's Genocide Jill. There's Celeste, Kogami, Yasuhiro, Aoi, Kyoko, and Sakura.
That's a hero.
But Yasuhiro was knocked out and stuffed in a locker.
The only one person that wasn't there.
Yes.
Charlie.
But do you remember what I said about Celeste? Isn't it odd how she's the one finding everything? Kind of jerking us around almost?
It was her idea.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Guess what?
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi has less in common?
Encountering suspicious
I got it!
individuals.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed
Thanks
individual.
for taking away from what I said.
If
Just
we
say what I
accept
said
that
again.
Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Saw him, the strange costumed man.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Why don't we split into two groups? That's true, she did.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of... Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto.
Which means she didn't know that Taka was dead, or wasn't supposed to.
Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Shoot!
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
What do you mean? I'm confused.
Shoot!
All I said was...
Maybe we need to take Kogami's so strange.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's all it takes to finish. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said. They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Are you ready?
You all have such vivid imaginations.
She's gonna
you know
start
that?
denying. Just like the rest of
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
Yeah.
So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Yeah, pretty much.
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
What do you think it is?
What about this costume?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
And why couldn't he?
You dressed me up in
Why
that
would he have
suit
to
after
stand
I
up
passed
straight?
out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi.
You tried to make me look...
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person in...
There's no way they could stand up
No, that's wrong.
How many times do we have to go over the same fucking point?
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right! They totally made...
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us?
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Her voice went high.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any...
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Yasuhiro's
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his
first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now, isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Or does it?
Well, no. Hold on. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
Did you
To
notice?
think you'd take your
Did you notice her
false
last name disappeared?
accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you?
Yes.
Well, do I?
In that frame, absolutely.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a...
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure if my real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
It's time for bullet time battle. Let's go, baby. Oh no. Okay. What would show her real name?
Handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on
Nothing,
pretending?
damn it.
I'm not pretending. It's the truth.
Oh, really?
And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only
Damn it!
truth there is! Moron!
The stupid thing's got in the way.
Hifumi was.
you,
He wanted
Celeste.
us to know the killer. If there's one person,
It would have to be you, Celeste.
how many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Are you
that's the
kidding me?
only truth there is! Moron!
I tried to go for the weak spot.
Hifumi was. He wanted us to know the killer. If there's one person,
It would have to be you, Celeste.
how many times?
Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
I'm not pretending. It's the... And since you have no way to contradict me,
Bitch.
No, that's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
Remember she said the handbooks weren't used in the crimes, but she never said it wouldn't be important?
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
By your name.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell her, please?
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you're...
Fine then. Let me go over the case again.
Let's go.
From the beginning, and that'll bring everything to an end.
Time.
Okay, so we start off with them talking.
That's not right. Or this.
The hammer? No, can't be. That one. Okay. Act 2 will be the camera. Yeah. And then it'd be
Probably the one with Gaussian Girl on it.
yeah. And then the camera. And then the hammer. Another clock. And then the hammer.
Which one was it that he was killed with? Four?
Number 2. And then another hammer. No. Back pair? I don't know.
And they put Fumi there.
Blood packet. So that'd go to the glasses. No, that one. Next. Next. Other side. The one with her Fumi.
Wasn't he 3? Unquote?
I think.
Alright.
We'd still need a hammer for the next one though, wouldn't we? Yeah. That one.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Boss, look how the person's sitting. I mean, come on.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Well, let's just hit him up.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
What?
It was Justice Hammer 4.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Even the voice acting.
Complete change of personality. Heck yeah.
Hey.
93
Nice.
guys.
No.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
Did you ever actually suspect Celeste?
No.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote,
Time to vote.
okay? Oh,
Okay.
if you would,
Okay.
please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Monokuma voting time. Guilty. Nice charge.
What?
Particular number.
Honestly.
I knew it. So then,
Hey, yo!
Indeed.
Oh, she took alter ego.
Say what?
just a second. In other words,
Indeed.
I see.
Actually,
What?
are you okay with it?
Yeah!
She told him Taka was the one who stole it?
So then...
Damnation! Say what?
Told him he forced him to steal it.
As for me...
Oh.
As for me...
Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, that's fucked up.
What?
That's
Take me bit.
that's
Damnation!
you really think did Hifumi really think the ultimate moral compass would do something like that?
Say what? Completely unforgivable!
We're going to fucking kill
Most
it.
unfortunate.
Hmm?
Actually,
What?
indeed.
Completely
Honestly.
Bastard.
I swear I will save her!
Actually,
Hmm?
Yeah.
I see.
indeed.
But...
Because you're stupid.
Let's see.
Well,
Are you okay with this? Hmm.
so in the end,
What the heck?
Well,
Don't be mean!
I wonder about that.
Why?
What the heck?
Hmm.
But...
You little bitch!
That was a lot.
Hey! You little bitch!
This is fine. Honestly. As for me, isn't it wonderful?
She wanted to live in a castle. With butlers.
This is fine. There is nothing to be done.
Just the worst.
Oh. Do you understand?
Ay, ay, ay.
What is this?
So she is scared. She's just hiding it.
Yes, indeed. Isn't it wonderful?
Hey...
Thrills! Chills! Now then, I prepared a Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I like her real voice so much better than the one with the accent.
Yeah, because the fucking fake voice was German. German accent.
She got her castle. Face hurts with the pirate book. So still my friends, I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that one point I consider her a friend. Or just to come along
Extreme!
You need to play Sword Riding.
What are you gonna do?
Pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not. You're only gonna make us keep going through this. What do you want?
How strange.
God, I'm sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already.
Hmm.
So anyway. Okay, did I see you get some kind of keycap object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
What's the deal with that?
Wah wah?
What's the matter?
So then,
Answer your question if you answer mine.
you.
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh. How exciting.
I don't know anything about it. What's that just now? Asked me I did something to Kyoko's body. What's that mean?
Hello.
It's getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well?
No, so you can go on and join your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
It wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned, but what's the key Celeste?
so.
It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
But then that means Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
Suppose sometimes it's easier to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rush up to the dressing room. First the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so.
I have to ask. She spoke quickly as the surrounds came in.
Come on.
That's not what I meant. Why you? You're still the risk of a spy, you know. So now go to.
What?
Please, let me go. I'm here, Agnes. Just kind of draw my attention.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want.
well then.
Yo!
I go then,
Huh?
okay? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Feel that? Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. Gotta figure what he said. Everyone headed to the dining hall and you go.
Shall we go? So then.
Need to get in that locker.
You really came. So,
I think I might be able to find a nice set of files soon. Hey, so it's fine. Doing right, so please wait a while longer. The case is closed. What go on your own here. So
You.
if you wanted to come in,
However,
regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. And this makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried? If what happened in the investigation this time, we disappeared, we didn't see you again, without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural to think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you no, I believe in you.
What?
Believe in me? When obviously people believe in their friends, right? That's what I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
And maybe I can believe in you. Still a little bit more. Anyway,
That's fine.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko that I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come, and when it did, I went into action.
Oh.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it, and the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could she really be right about this? Well, let's find out, though.
Didn't we go in there before and it wasn't there?
Oh, it's back here.
Oh, shit, there is.
It's almost storage closet as far as I can tell. Is it?
Is it all there?
I mean, seriously, without thinking, I placed my
It
hand
was
on the back of the
actually a
storage
dollar.
closet, and suddenly, as if I were being inked in, I had no idea what was going on. I went to the back of the storage closet. Huh? Turned out, the back of the wall was like a revolving door, and I made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko said.
Correct.
What's in here? Well, let's find out. Files what look like volume after volume of yearbooks are all covered in dust. Looking at everything on one file at the edges of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. The only thing not covered in dust. You must not leave.
Oh.
I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know?
Oh.
Strange sound rang through my head. It felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth, and then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been.
Oh.
After that, Jim? What do you think it is?
Who's burning books? Well, let's try it anyway.
Rick sound is open letter to me.
Oh.
Why, you... I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Seems kind of sus, right?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
But you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
Mastermind spy. Sakura. continued. Alright, guys. No. Or leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new Danganronpa content or just any content in general. And we will see you next time in Chapter 4. Bye.